2023 is now in our rearview mirror, but the games of 2023 still hit this table today. That's right, I'm here to talk about the top 10 board games of 2023. Now, my name's Ryan Gutowski. I'm with One Board Family. We are a channel that focuses on multi-generational gaming, and this list is pretty diverse. So let's start at the top with my number 10 game of 2023. For followers of One Board Family, it's not going to come as a surprise to see Unmatched on my top 10 games this year, but specifically Unmatched Adventures Tales to Amaze. This is the new cooperative adventure from Restoration Games that came out earlier this year in the fall. This game is phenomenal. It is an amazing entry point into the Unmatched universe as players team up together with one of 4 characters that are included in this box to take on 2 major bad guys along with some minions. Now, this game plays really cool at 2, 3, 4 players, or even if you want to go solo into this game. There's a lot of fun to be had in this box. And I think it's an amazing starting point. I've always said that Cobble and Fog is probably the best starting point for players who are wanting to get into the Unmatched system. But I've got to tell you that Tales to Amaze does something special here. For players who maybe aren't into the player versus player combat, or maybe they don't like fighting games, Tales to Amaze might actually change your mind because players can go in together and work on defeating a bad guy. And this game is not only difficult, but it has a lot of variables that can change the difficulty, either lessen it or make it harder if you're really good at the game. What I love is Tales to Amaze is not only 4 different fighters that can fight in any of the other arenas in Unmatched, but also any other Unmatched fighters can come in and play against these big baddies. I am a huge fan of this set, and it's got Mothman, which from probably the first 6 months we were playing Unmatched, I've been talking about the need to see a Mothman character. So I'm super excited that Tales to Amaze, the Unmatched Adventures, is just such an amazing entry into this series. If you haven't already, be sure to check it out. If you're hesitant with cooperative games, give this one a chance. My non-cooperative game loving wife actually loves this game, and it's fun to take on the bad guys together. Next up, coming in at number 9, is Darwin's Journey. Now, Darwin's Journey is a game that I've been looking forward to since I think 2021, I think, was the first time it appeared on my most anticipated list. It has finally fulfilled. Thundergriff Games has done a phenomenal job with the production of it. This, in fact, is the deluxe version, which I backed on Kickstarter. I was so impressed with the digital version of the game that I had to have the physical version. And boy, it does not disappoint. This game is just chock full of interesting decision-making as players go through and try to follow the journey of Charles Darwin as he discovers new species, submits them to museums, writes letters. All of the players are going in with these workers and trying to make decisions as they go along in this game. The game is heavy, it's chunky, it's a lot of decision making. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but I think that that's what's going to add to the longevity of Darwin's Journey. There's a lot of decisions to make from turn to turn, and every time we finish a game, I want to sit there and say, you know what, I think I could do it better, and I think I could have done some things differently next time. So Darwin's Journey is my number 9 game of 2023, and I'm so excited that it finally fulfilled and that it's hitting this table because I'm tired of playing it digitally. I want to play the real thing, and Darwin's Journey is the real thing. My number 8 game of 2023 is Halloween the board game. This one's from Trick or Treat Studios, and it's designed by Emerson Masucci, a game designer that a lot of people know for his designs with Spectre Ops, which is another hidden movement game, or Century Spice Road. This game is phenomenal because it makes you relive the movie from 1978. On the 45th anniversary of the movie, we actually got a proper Halloween board game. Thank you, Trick or Treat Studios. This game puts one player into the role of Michael Myers as he secretly stalks up to three teenagers who are trying to find two of the kids that they've been babysitting and try to get away in one of the cars, unlocking it and getting off the map. Now, the tension in this game is phenomenal. Every single time I play, whether I'm playing the role of Michael or whether I'm playing one of the teenagers, the tension is felt as you are being stalked or stalking players around this board. All of Michael's movements are secretly written on this dry erase board, and Michael is getting advantages at different points during the game with these cards that are collected. The players are trying to scour the houses, trying to find items to either kill or wound Michael, or trying to find the kids that are strategically buried within the decks of the four homes. These items are super useful, and you've got to find those kids to get away from Michael. Halloween is such a treat to play. We played it all during the Halloween season, the whole month of October, but this game is going to continue to come to the table all year long because it's a game that is not only one of my favorite games of last year, but also terrifying in the way that it plays out each and every time you play. If you're looking for a decent jump scare, if you're looking for something with a palatable tension to it, Halloween the board game is one for you. Coming in at number 7 on my list is a card game called Splito. Now, this card game is a 2023 release here in the United States from 25th Century Games, and this is one of our most played games. And the reason why is the game teaches in 2 or 3 minutes. It's pretty easy to teach and understand, but it's so tough to master. Players are playing cards from their 13 cards in their hand to the right or to the left of them in piles that they share with their neighbor. What's interesting about this game is that every single time you lay down a card in all 13 rounds, you're having to make a decision. Am I going to give points to the right or to the left of me? And what are my points going to look like at the end of the game? Because ultimately, your score is going to be the right and the left times one another. So you're always making value decisions, and you're always looking at your neighbor and saying, are they trying their hardest, or are they overloading their pile with their other neighbor? There's a lot of tough decisions in Splito, but the game plays so fast. It's so fun because it plays up to 8 players. And so anytime we have 5 or 6 players sitting around a table, I say, you know what? You want to learn a game in 2 or 3 minutes? Everybody says yes. And then soon enough, we've jumped into a game of Splito. It takes 15 to 20 minutes. And then people are like, I think I can do better next time. Well, let's do it again. Players play this game over and over. This one has been great for conventions. We take it with us every time we go to a convention now because players want to jump into a game and play over and over. Soon enough, you've played Splito for an hour and you're like, whoa, that was a lot of fun. Splito is one of our most played games, and it is number 7 on my top 10 list of 2023. My number 6 game of 2023 is a small card game called Sea Salt and Paper from Pandasaurus Games. Now, this game initially drew me in on the incredible origami artwork and photography, along with a beautiful color palette on each of the cards. But what has me coming back each and every time is the tough decision making as you collect these sets of cards. At the end of a round, a player can either say stop and end the round and everybody counts their points and everybody's happy, or they can say last chance. When a player says last chance, they give everybody else at the table one more opportunity to collect a card and probably earn some bonuses if they play what they call duo cards, which is a set of cards that give you a bonus. But when you say last chance, you're essentially bidding on yourself. You're saying, I think I'm going to win this round and I'm pretty sure of it. If you do, you're going to score your points, but you're also going to get what they call a color bonus and get additional points. And everybody else at the table only scores their color bonus, which is 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 points during a round. This game is a little deceptive because calling last chance is kind of mean when the other players aren't ready. but that's what this game's all about. Sea Salt and Paper is a deceptively clever game. It is one of our most played card games in our home, and it's the game that Aaron and I take on dates most of the time. This little tiny package fits nicely into my wife's purse or into my pocket, and it's a game that plays so well when you're out to eat. Sea Salt and Paper is a phenomenal card game, and it's a card game that's going to continue to hit our table through 2024 and into the future because of the clever mechanics, the ease of gameplay, and how simple it is. It definitely deserves a place on this top 10 list. Coming in at number 5 of my top games of 2023 is The Great Split. Now, The Great Split was actually my very first game on this list because I played this back in January of 2023 and it has stayed on this list ever since. The Great Split is beautifully illustrated by Weberson Santiago, one of my favorite artists, and it's put out by Horrible Guild Games. I really love the way this one plays. Is essentially a I split you choose mechanic as you pass around a wallet to the person to your left, and that person has to make a decision on what half of the loot they're going to take out of your wallet, leaving you the other half. And then you're going to be taking loot from the player to your right. There's a lot of really tough decisions in this game as you try to collect sets and earn bonuses throughout the game. I love the minimalist art style on the boards. I love how each of the little cubes move around the board and move in the different slots. Double layered boards, great artwork, tough decision making. The Great Split is a phenomenal game, and it's a game that plays up to 7 players, which is a big need in our house as we have friends and family coming over. We want to play something that engages and is a lot of fun. Players are picking simultaneously from the wallets that are passed to them, so there's little to no downtime in The Great Split, which is another huge positive. I love The Great Split. Horrible Guild did an amazing job with the production, and this one is going to stay in our collection for a long time to come. Be sure to check out The Great Split. This is my number 5 game of 2023. Speaking of art, let's talk about my number 4 entry into this list. This is the Art Project from the Op. This is a cooperative heist game where players are trying to retrieve art that was stolen by art thieves. Now, what's so cool about the Art Project, not only is it in this slim box here, but the game has so much replayability. The game comes with 6 different maps that all play slightly different with the same core mechanics. So once you know how to play the Art Project, you can basically hit any one of these maps and know the basics of the game. Players are working together trying to hire helpers to take out the art thieves and retrieve art. It's a set collection game. It's cooperative. It's dice checking. It's a lot of fun. The Op did a phenomenal job of producing a game that's going to be replayable so many times because of all the content in this box. Choose any of the double-sided maps and play, and then when you've mastered that section, make it a little harder. Take away a couple hearts. To flip over the map, try a different map. Try it with a slightly different rule set. The Art Project has so much replayability, and it's a game that is very tough at first because you're not sure the rhythm of this game until you master one of the maps. And then you're like, okay, I know we can do that on another map. Let's do it. With variable difficulty levels and so many options for your map and amazing components. The Op did a phenomenal job with this one, and this, The Art Project, is my number 4 game of 2023. I am a sucker for city building games, and AEG has put out one of my favorite city building games of all time. That's right, this is Rolling Heights from the designer John D. Clare. This game is phenomenal. The artwork's done by Kwanchai Moria, and it raises up off the table as you build these towers, as you build the city of Rolling Heights. Players are essentially rolling a team of meeples that they're given at the start of the game, and through resources and building buildings and gaining bonuses, they're getting additional workers to roll. The original thought was rolling meeples, that's got to be a gimmick. No, it's no gimmick. Rolling meeples is actually a lot of fun, and it doesn't have the same odds as a six-sided die. You're rolling these meeples trying to get the most resources out of them, because a meeple that's standing on its feet is hardworking, and then the meeple laying on its side, that he's steady working. He's going to produce one resource, but the meeple laying on his back is just lazy, and you're not going to get anything from him. So you're taking these resources, converting them into the things that you need, and ultimately gaining a larger workforce as you come to the end of the game. And the city of Rolling Heights builds up off the table. This game is so tactile. It is so much fun to play. It's so fun looking at the cityscape as you finish up the game and calculating points. There's so many reasons why I love Rolling Heights, and it scratches that itch of being a city building game, but a fun city building game that's very tactile with the pieces, and just fun to roll meeples. It is not a gimmick, and this is why Rolling Heights is my number 3 game of 2023. My number 2 game of 2023 is Life of the Amazonia from Bad Comet Games. This game not only has phenomenal table presence as you build a ecosystem full of monkeys and birds and reptiles, but also it's a bag builder. I love bag building games. And in this game, you're digging into your bag, getting resources, and trading those resources for other things like food and water. You've got this tracker where you're basically going along this waterfall track, trying to upgrade everything that you have. The game is so intuitive the way that it plays, but there's so many options from round to round. As you pull from the bag, see what resources you have, and see what you're going to be able to afford. I love Life of the Amazonia because it has variable setup with 4 different scoring options for each of the animal types that are included in the game. So if you want to play a harder game, choose one of the animal sets with more complex scoring. Or if you want to play an easier game, choose side A, which has very straightforward scoring, a little easier for newer gamers. Life of the Amazonia doesn't get enough attention, I believe, and it's a game that absolutely deserves to be at the top of this list. That's my number 2 game of 2023. My number 1 game of 2023 is Thunder Road Vendetta. Not only did I purchase this game one time through Kickstarter, but I also purchased this Maximum Chrome edition when I saw it at Origins because I love the game so much. I have so many memories from gaming in 2023 tied to Thunder Road Vendetta. Times of sitting around the table with my family and friends and crashing cars and bombing each other in this car combat game. I love Mad Max and this dystopian car combat theme. And Thunder Road Vendetta feeds that for me. Setting a good soundtrack on, playing it loud, and sitting there with my friends throwing dice is just an excellent night. And I have so many memories from this past year tied to this very game. And that's why Thunder Road Vendetta is my number 1 game of the year. It was my biggest surprise because I had no clue I needed this game in my life. It's stupid fun. It is really random at times, but that's okay because the laughs and the amazing, shocking things that happen in this game are well worth those random die rolls that have you careening off the side of a cliff. I really love Thunder Road Vendetta, and it's a game that's going to stay in our collection for a long time, especially because I bought this big box. It is a lot of fun to play, and it's a ton of fun to see the shock of people as they throw the dice and they can't believe the odds were against them, but they somehow made it out okay. Thunder Road Vendetta is phenomenal, and it's my number 1 game of 2023. Thank you so much for joining me for my top 10 list of 2023. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more board games for your entire family. And if you haven't already, find us online all over the place at One Board Family. You can also visit us at oneboardfamily.com. We've got tons of reviews, articles, lists, and previews of upcoming Kickstarter projects. Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.